Hello, 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 hello. How are you all doing today? Wow, it has been an amazing, amazing week and tumultuous week. So, we are here to bring you some amazing and yet some heartbreaking news on our fight against human trafficking and sexual exploitation here in Missouri. My name is Tiffany Marler. I am the co-founder of No More Tears 214 nonprofit, and we have been doing lots of wonderful work, lots of great networking, and lots of advocacy work over the past few weeks, and it's been busy, 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 busy. Now, normally I have my podcast that I do, which is called My Voice for Theirs, where we speak on what is on our mind for other advocacy groups or what is on our mind for other causes. This podcast, we speak on one cause, what is going on within our own organization, what is going on here in our state, and what is going on here in our country. Now, we found out some interesting news to start off with that a lot of people do know, and that is this fight that's going on with the pornographic areas and our advocacy work to fight pornography. And Exodus Cry has this great thing going on, this campaign called Shut It Down, to shut, trafficking hub. We want to shut pornography down. Yes, we do. And I know I'm making some funny faces because, yes, we do want to shut pornography down. They've got this thing, it's trafficking hub. Yeah, that's what we call it, trafficking hub, because a lot of Pornhub, trafficking hub, whatever you want to call it, whatever we call it, should I say, a lot of these websites that produce pornographic videos, people don't realize that a lot of these videos are trafficked victims. Now, whether these victims, when I say trafficked victims, you have to understand there's a huge difference between international trafficking and domestic trafficking. There's a lot of people trying to split our narrative right now about what is the difference between domestic sexual and human trafficking and international sexual and labor and human trafficking. There's huge differences between these two. And you've got a lot of different advocacy groups out there trying to split our narrative about what is going on right now here in the United States. Here within No More Tears 214, we are part of the NCOSC, which is the National Coalition Against Sexual Exploitation. We work within the DC arena. We work within the international arena to bring back awareness and advocacy and implementation, effective implementation strategies on how to better our state and better our nation on this fight against human trafficking and sexual exploitation. We fight for victim advocacy, and we fight for better policy and legislative advocacy within our governments. Now, I understand there are many different facets to this fight, and this fight is about 100-fold. You've got direct services, victim advocacy, policy advocacy. You've got so many different things that you could talk about. But within our organization, we deal with victim advocacy and policy and legislative advocacy. We do not deal with direct services, but we do have a hotline. Therefore, if you need direct services, we deal with over 38 coalition members within the state of Missouri, where we can work as your victim advocacy agency, and we know where we can send you. And if you do not live in the state of Missouri, that does not matter, because we work with domestic partners where we are a member of 256 coalitions within the National Coalition of Sexual Exploitation. So you have to understand that this coalition is stronger every year that we gain this momentum. People can think what they want to think and say what they want to say about organizations like ours, but we don't ask for a lot. We don't ask to be out in the forefront. We don't ask for all of these donations and huge money corporation donations. The point is that right now there is a huge war going on with Facebook, and that's what this podcast I want to talk about. I received an email from one of our members within our organization letting me know that this fight that we have against Facebook is getting bigger. Our organization fights a lot against this fight with pornography. So therefore we get attacked as well against these big billion-dollar corporations. And with this fight, we don't have the money to fight against these big billion-dollar people and their corporations and politicians and huge people that just don't like us. So therefore, us little people, we have to use these type of tactics to get the truth out there. And one of the ways that we get the truth out there is we make these videos and we make these podcasts. One of the, platforms that you could say that we use within our organization, since we are not that big, is we've been using a thing called Work Chat and Workplace. Now it's ran by Facebook, and they've decided that since Facebook, when we were doing the CESE Summit back a few months ago, we were, pretty much blasting that on our Facebook page that I am an admin of, and the other co-founder is an admin of. So many people decided they didn't want to hear about the CESE Summit here in Missouri that they reported me blasting the CESE Summit, the invites to the CESE Summit, that I actually got banned from posting on my own No More Tears 21-4 Facebook page. And since June, I have still been blocked. The owner still been blocked from my own Facebook page. So the other co-founder is now the admin of that Facebook page. Well, Facebook owns Work Group and Work Chat. And that is one of the platforms that our company has been communicating to each other from. And certain members received an email from them letting them know that they would be shut down after October 6th and not be allowed any contact with the group whatsoever after October 6th. So they emailed me, and I went ahead and I looked on the work group. We have all kinds of different groups and everything set up for our company on there, and I tried to pull up the work chats and tried to pull up everything. It was saying that we can download the data and keep all the information that we had on there, but lo and behold, we couldn't access any of our information today. We are totally, totally blocked from any information that we have ever done over the past year with our organization on this platform. So we are doing this message today to everyone to let them know that if for any reason you have been using work group or work chat through Facebook for anything in this type of narrative with human trafficking, sexual trafficking, anti-human trafficking, anti-sexual exploitation, anti-labor trafficking. If you use any of this and anything is tied up with Facebook, please, you've got to try to find a different platform. We did not realize as much until we contacted our CESE advisors that these things we knew they were being monitored. We knew that we were not hiding anything. We did not care because we are legit. We do our due diligence. We work with many different people. We just got invited to help organize our next Human Trafficking Awareness Days here in the state of Missouri. But when we were asked that, we contacted our director of human trafficking here in the state of Missouri, and she doesn't seem to know anything about this initiative. So we are still trying to figure out exactly what the story is for next January. So we will keep you up to date on that. We don't exactly know what the full story is with this virtual conference next January. We are trying to figure that out as we speak, but we wanted to let everybody know that the members that were affiliated, our volunteers, the members that work within our company, as far as our platform that we were using, apparently, we are now shut down from that. So we will be finding a new one. We are still building our mainframe. We have great progress being made on that. And we will continue to be doing everything that we've been doing. I'm about halfway done with the first novel. It's coming along greatly. I've turned in the first half to my publisher. He says he believes it's going to be wonderful, that we're going to change the world with it. That was his words. So it takes a lot to write a novel. Well, it's going to be 3 novels, but it takes a lot to be able to write what I write, and to be able to write it in a way where it's going to be able to teach and inform individuals that are survivors and victims, and also teach and inform educators and parents and families also about how to do what we do and how to survive what we survive. These books, I wanted to let everyone know, we want these books to be able to go out. Yes, there will be a limit. We will be able to sell them, but we want to be able to give them out for free as well, to prisons, to educators, to shelters, to churches. There's a reason why this initiative is going through a 501c3 nonprofit as my publicist. These books need to be made available to people who cannot afford them. That's the whole reason why we are doing this the way that we are doing this. I do not believe in selling my story for profit. That is not why I'm doing this. That's not why I started my nonprofit the way that I started it. I don't believe in monetary value off of people's pain, I guess is the word that I want to use. So I just wanted to get this little bit of truth out there today, that we are still here, even if we keep getting, I guess, pushed back against. But I think that is what happens in any type of fight that we do like this these days. If you are a true organization and you are true in this fight and you are fighting truthfully against the powers that be and fighting to make good policy change in the background, then you are going to try to get shut down by the powers that be that you're fighting against. So I just want you to know that I am still here for you. My organization is still here for you. We will continue to keep fighting for you. And all we ask is that you please just keep standing behind us. Please just keep praying for us, that we can keep doing the work that we do, that we just keep our heads up. We just ask that you keep your heads up, because we are here and we will continue this fight. We will not give up, and we will not be we will not be stopped. I can tell you that. And that is about all that we have for you today for right now. We will come back later and we will make another podcast. We hope to have some wonderful guests on very soon. We are making them in the lineup. We have had one person that we are very, very, very excited about that has decided that she is going to be a guest on our podcast, and that is Miss Nicole Jenkins, who has organized and started the Veterans Clinic downtown here in St. Louis. A wonderful, wonderful effort. And we are coordinating a date to get her on our podcast and our show. But with COVID, it's very hard to do. But we would like to get her on both of these at the same time. So we are coordinating an effort and a date to get that set up. So she was going to be our first one on here. So we definitely want to get that set up and get that scheduled and get it prepared for you, because with this being the month of September, this is very important to get the awareness out and let everyone know about this great, great clinic that she has managed to get set up and provided for our veterans downtown that don't have the effort and the sustainability with the VA. And this is something that she and I, she's told me about for years, and she managed to make it possible with her and her people. And with me being 100% service connected, and me doing what I do with my veterans, with my suicide awareness initiatives, and my homeless initiatives with my homeless vets, this has just been an amazing feat that I feel she's just so close to my heart. She's so close to my heart. And good friend of mine. She's such a dear friend. And I truly, truly cannot wait to have her on here as one of our guests. And if we can't get this done in person because of COVID, then we will do this over the phone, because I want to get her on here so she can tell all of you guys about this amazing stuff that she's been doing. And it's just wonderful. I cannot explain to you guys about what she's been doing. So yeah, we got great things coming. And then we've got a few other people that are coming on, but we don't have those dates and times set up yet. So, it's just, we've got some amazing things going on, and I'm very sorry that I've had some health issues going on, so this didn't get launched as soon as we wanted it to. And then writing a novel, that takes a lot of time and effort. So we've just had a lot of issues and things going on and projects being started. And now we're in our third special session. So we've had a lot of things going on, guys. So we just want you to be aware that with all of the pushback that we have going on, that we do have a lot of new news coming. So if you don't hear this podcast, just know that we do our other podcast, My Voice for Theirs, as well. And about the only other good news I could say that we have that is new is we all know that I got entered into the fall magazine of Power. And let's see, they decided to extend that and make me a VIP member of the winter edition. So, and it all has to do with the nonprofit management and the victim advocacy. It's all about telling the truth. It's all about starting off as a 529c nonprofit, something that's never been done before in this world that we work in, our world that we work in. Not becoming a 501c3 to start out with, not doing that, becoming a 529 at first. You know, doing everything that we've done, being open, being accountable, being transparent, doing everything by the board, showing our donors where our money goes, having books, having everything where it can be seen if asked. You not having to have a board of directors, but making a board of directors. That way, when we do fold into a 501c3, it makes everything so much easier for our donors and for our lenders, for our people who want to finance these bigger operations, to know that we already have that accountability, that we've been working for a few years already on the board. But it also enables us to show how these 529c trust fund nonprofits have been embezzling money from small businesses and big money politicians and corporations. It shows where this money has been going and where people have been able to hide their money. So on a twofold, we've been able to upset some pretty powerful people, but also bring awareness to some other individuals as to where this money is being embezzled into. So in a way, we are good guys and we are bad guys. It just depends on who you're looking at us from and from what point of view you're looking at us from. We are all about helping the individuals that need help, the poor, the indentured, the hurt, the ones that are being abused, beaten, being taken advantage of. I understand there's a checks and a balances system, but I've been on both ends of the spectrum. I've been homeless, I've been starving, I've been in chains in this day and age. People talk about, people of color or people of white being in chains hundreds of years ago. They talk about colonization. I believe in that. I believe that we have effects of colonization from hundreds of years ago from both sides. But when we look at that, we need to think about what are the effects of the individuals who have been in chains today, in this day and age. Are we listening to those people who have survived being in chains, literal chains, in this day and age? Chains in this day and age. Is anybody listening to them? Because those are the people that we really need to be listening to. We can listen to anybody that we want to listen to that talks about their ancestors being in chains and they need reparations from them. And it might be true, or they might feel like that's true because that's how they were brought up. But if that were the case, then I were to say, I need reparations for my Indian ancestors. I need reparations for my Irish ancestors. I need reparations from everyone who was beaten in the coal mines and forced to work there. But that's not how I am. I don't even claim that I need reparations for me being in chains twice nowadays in my life. And that is something that I don't even know if I should say that I need reparations, because I've survived being in chains twice in this day and age. It's not about reparations. It's about education. And it's about teaching others to not do unto others as they've done unto them. Hurt people can hurt people, but it's about not hurting others. That's what we want to teach. Whether your skin is black, brown, white, yellow, blue, purple, polka dotted, or pink, or tattooed like mine, you want to teach love and empathy and security. You don't want to teach hate. And you don't want to teach all this crap that's going on nowadays in our streets. So I ask that we try to stop thwarting the effort, stop splitting the narrative, stop trying to divide our efforts, and let's start looking out for each other. Let's start looking out for our kids. Let's start holding our public officials, our public servants, our district attorneys, our vice cops, our attorney generals, our prosecutors, or everyone else accountable. There are federal laws that hold these state officials accountable. If you see something, say something. That is our campaign that we are running. If you see something, so hashtag see something, say something. That is our campaign. And it doesn't necessarily mean if you see something, say something towards someone being hurt. It's if you see something, say something, report these people to the federal government, the federal authorities, not your state authorities, your federal authorities. And if you listen to the first podcast of this forum, No More Tears, live in St. Louis, you'll hear about Ambassador John Cotton Richmond's, how you can report these people to the authorities, because there are federal laws that prohibit the sale of sex buying and the sale of sex and the buying of sex. I'm so sorry. So anybody who has knowledge of the selling of sex or the buying of sex is totally, again, they're totally like against the law. So if you've got a vice cop or a district attorney, I'm going to break this down, say here in the city of St. Louis, that knows of someone selling sex or buying sex, and they don't do nothing about it, they are breaking federal laws, and they can be held accountable for it. If an attorney general knows about it and they don't do anything about it, they are breaking the federal statutes, and they can be turned in. HB 397 allowed for jurisdictional precincts to try and prosecute labor trafficking and human trafficking cases, as long as they did not cross state lines. When a trafficking case does not cross Missouri state lines, it stays within the jurisdictions of a state case. When you cross Missouri state lines, it becomes a federal case. So like with my case when I was a child, my case was in Missouri, Illinois, and Florida. That made it a federal case. That's all I can say about it. You have cases here in Missouri that made it a case of, if it's in Missouri, cannot cross Missouri state lines. That makes it a case for our Attorney General's office. But HB 397 allowed for jurisdictional attorney generals and district attorneys to be able to try these trafficking cases within their own jurisdictions. The state of Missouri didn't allow people to know this. When I got to Washington, D.C., I found this out from our United States Attorney General. This was a bill that I worked on with Mary Elizabeth Coleman, but yet I didn't know this. Nobody knew this. So I had to come back and tell the Missouri people about this. This whole shimmy-dibby gag order on human trafficking, this whole dissolving our human trafficking task force in the city of St. Louis. Why was this done? How was this beneficial? It wasn't. It's not. The more we are told to not speak here in this company, in this organization, the more we are told to be quiet by the, quote, powers that be, the more I will continue to speak up, speak out, and speak aloud. That is the power of the First Amendment. That is the power of the freedom of speech. That is the power of me surviving what I have survived and being allowed to come back and say what I can say today. I really appreciate you guys listening today, and I truly hope that you heed my words. Social media is good for some things, but it can also be a huge, huge negative way to thwart good actions as well.